as this.
It's the game that Old Dominion University football fans are going to be talking about for years to come. The day the Monarchs upset the top-ranked Virginia Tech Hokies 49-35. But the underlying story is that of quarterback Blake LaRussa, who came in off the bench to lead his team to victory. As a walk-on in 2015, his career started out a bit rocky. He won the starting job in 2017, only to lose it after just 2 weeks. But during the game against Virginia Tech, his number was called once again. He recalls what happened leading up to the game, starting with the sermon he heard from a pastor.
And what he was saying was, talking about David, he said, I didn't come this far not to throw my rock. Talking about David and Goliath here, which a day before Sunday morning, I wake up thinking about, I hear our chances to beat Tech, like 1%. I remember thinking to myself, I bet that's what David's odds were to beat Goliath. Pretty much nothing. And now it's like, whoa, God, are you speaking to me right now? Just thinking to myself, if I get in, I'm going to throw that rock.
On the second drive of the game, Blake went in, and the rest is history. He threw for 495 yards and 4 touchdowns.
You threw a whole lot of stones, my friend. And they caught him and brought him down.
I really can't take all that credit. Those guys are incredible. Travis Fulgham, John Duhart, they played their tails off. Jeremy Cox, I mean, we literally had all the cylinders rolling that game. It wasn't just me.
ODU quarterback Blake LaRussa stunned the college football world when he led the Monarchs to a victory over Virginia Tech. But the biggest surprise came at the end of the 2018 season when he dropped a bombshell on his coaches, letting them know that he was switching from reading defenses to studying the Bible.
And I remember I was in the library here at ODU, and I was doing my reading for the day, and I had my Bible, and I was reading through Acts chapter 18. But the second I was done reading within me, I heard this, I want you to go place to place. Those were the words the Lord spoke to me, and had this new calling that was nothing what I expected.
Blake never anticipated ministry being added to his playbook. He wasn't sure what that meant for his football future.
I remember talking to some close friends, close pastors of mine, and I remember speaking with them about it. And they all gave me the same but wise advice of, right now you're here, just focus on the here. God will show you the path down the road when he needs to.
Blake's performance during the 2018 season ensured that the starting job was his to lose. Once the season was over, he felt a shift in his heart.
I noticed within myself, all I want to do is go into ministry right now. Yes, do I love football? Did I love football the whole season? Absolutely. Still love football so much. But as far as my passions going forward, it's all into ministry.
Blake began searching for a degree that matched his desired area of ministry.
I come across a degree in exactly what the Lord had called me to. The degree was itinerant evangelism. And itinerant meaning traveling from place to place.
It was then that Blake decided to forego his senior season to enroll in seminary to pursue his Master's of Divinity. Of course, the biggest question on everyone's mind was, why now?
What I can say to try to be as most clear as I can about it is, when you know, you know. And so it was something where I knew with everything in me, and I didn't need everybody to fully understand it either, because, something that God taught me throughout this process in December was, whose voice are you going to listen to more? Are you going to listen to my voice more? Are you going to listen to the people more? And obviously God gives us people in our lives to give us good godly advice, for sure. But I came to a point where I knew this is where God's taking me. I know that from what I'm hearing from him, and I know that from my own heart's desires.
When Blake told his coaches, they were in full support.
Your natural reaction, selfishly, and I'll admit, I think all of us coaches, I'll just admit selfishly, is, how do I get this kid to change his mind? Once I knew that he was comfortable, that he would never have regret, then I was fine on my end.
Because I said, Blake, you're 23 years old. I said, you're going to live till you're 90. I know you are. You're going to live till you're 90. So you've got 67 years to serve. And I said, just take a week to reflect. And let's come back and let's visit again next week. And when he came back the next week, he was still very much strong in his conviction of what he wanted to do. And I respected that. I appreciate that. I don't have any remorse or any negative feelings towards his decision because he's doing something for the right reason.
Now, with the support of his teammates and coaches, Blake is focused on graduating in spring of 2019. And though he hasn't announced the seminary school yet, his eyes are set on the route the Lord has for him to run.
My passion, my greatest desire is to tell people about Jesus, to preach the gospel, to let people know who this Jesus is that loves them, who died for them on the cross, and then, put their faith in him. And that's my greatest desire. I want people to know that.
What an amazing young man. You remember what the Apostle Paul said, woe is me if I preach not the gospel of Jesus Christ. There's a fire burning within me, is what Jeremiah said. There's something I've got to speak. And he had it. And, I would say to anybody who's contemplated the ministry, if there's anything else you can do and be happy, by all means, go do it.
On the other hand, this same choice faced you at a young age.
That's right.
You left the law practice.
Well, the Lord, I tell you, it was one of those things, but I went through some real trial. But God, I crowded into him and he showed me, and the opening door, what he's opened for me has been simply beyond belief. Well, today's power minute is from the book of Jeremiah, which says, I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. Well, that's all the time we've got on this edition. Thank you so much for being with us. For Terry and all of us, this is Pat Robertson, and Lord willing, tomorrow we'll have the 700 Club. You don't want to miss it. Bye.